This morning at 6:47 a.m., the International Space Station went completely dark. Not offline, not damaged, erased, as if 40 years of human engineering and construction had simply been deleted from existence by an intelligence that views our greatest technological achievements.
Every telescope on Earth was locked onto one target, 3I Atlas, the mysterious object drifting in from deep interstellar space. But the moment it passed behind the sun, everything changed. The object didn't speed up. It slowed down. No asteroid, no comet, no fragment of ice has ever done that. At first, we thought it was an instrument error. Then the signal came. A rhythmic pulse, repeating every few seconds, transmitted precisely at the hydrogen line, the universal frequency used in the search for intelligent life. Scientists aren't asking what 3I Atlas is anymore. They're asking the question no one wants to say out loud. Who is sending it? When the first trajectory models came in, no one believed them. 3I Atlas wasn't following the path of a comet. It was adjusting it. Tiny but deliberate course corrections. As if it were steering. We ran simulations, checked gravitational influences, even blamed solar radiation pressure. Nothing fit. Every natural explanation fell apart. In the control room, you could feel it. That quiet panic only scientists know when math stops making sense. Instruments confirmed that the object's velocity was dropping in discrete intervals, not gradually, like a craft applying reverse thrust. And that's when something else changed. The reflected light from its surface began to fluctuate. Not randomly, but rhythmically. A repeating pattern. We thought it might be rotation. But when the intervals matched prime numbers, everything we knew about comets, asteroids, and interstellar debris shattered in an instant. At first, the signal was dismissed as background noise, the kind of interference you get when a satellite drifts too close to the sun. But this wasn't noise. It was precise, measured, and terrifyingly intentional. Every 47 seconds, a narrow-band pulse hit our receivers, centered exactly at 1420 megahertz. The hydrogen line. That frequency isn't random. It's the one every SETI researcher agrees would be used by an intelligent civilization trying to announce itself. We ran the data through independent labs in Japan, Germany, and Chile. Same result, same pattern, same timing. The pulses grew stronger the closer 3I Atlas came to perihelion, as if the object was responding to the sun's gravity, or using it. When we finally mapped the signal in 3 dimensions, we realized something impossible. It wasn't random. It was a map, and it was pointing directly at Earth. We focused every available telescope on 3I Atlas. The object reflected sunlight in strange intermittent flashes, like mirrors turning in perfect sync. When those flashes were translated into binary, the result matched the signal's pulse intervals. It wasn't just broadcasting a message. It was communicating in 2 channels at once, radio and light. The odds of such synchronization occurring naturally? Less than 1 in a trillion. Spectrographic scans revealed another anomaly. The surface wasn't ice or rock. It was smooth, metallic, and layered with compounds we'd never detected beyond our solar system. Elements arranged in non-natural ratios, as if engineered. By now, denial had given way to quiet dread. This wasn't a comet. It was behaving like something that had been built, controlled. Then came the moment that froze every researcher in the room. When the light pattern shifted to form a single repeating symbol. The symbol pulsed across the monitors, a geometric sequence of interlocking circles, spirals, and lines. At first glance, it looked abstract. But when we overlaid it with astronomical coordinates, one pattern emerged, the layout of our own solar system, with one point marked brighter than the rest: Earth. It wasn't a coincidence. The ratios between the circles matched orbital distances almost perfectly. Someone, or something, had encoded the architecture of our home system into light from an object billions of kilometers away. We searched for parallels in ancient human geometry, SETI archives, even deep space communication logs. Nothing matched, until we noticed that same pattern buried in Voyager's data decades ago, a distortion no one could ever explain. If this was intentional, it meant something had known about us long before 3I Atlas arrived. And the next transmission would prove it wasn't just watching. It was answering. 48 hours after detecting the symbol, the signal's rhythm shifted. The pulses slowed, then rearranged into a new sequence, longer, deliberate, structured. Linguists, cryptographers, and AI models ran it through thousands of decoding algorithms. It wasn't random. It followed linguistic symmetry, syntax, pauses, and repetition, like speech. When translated through mathematical substitution, the first readable fragment appeared on screen. Observe, response, detected. The room went silent. None of us spoke. The hydrogen frequency wasn't just a beacon, it was a conversation. And if it was reacting to our probes, it meant it could hear us. Moments later, every observatory tracking 3I Atlas reported a new anomaly. The object had turned, ever so slightly, altering its trajectory again, this time unmistakably toward Earth. And as its signal grew louder, our instruments picked up something else within the noise. A second voice, overlapping the first. At first, we thought the second signal was interference, a reflection, a system echo. But the waveform wasn't identical. It was offset by milliseconds, carrying a different modulation pattern. When isolated, the tone was lower, slower, almost human. AI pattern analysis revealed something chilling. The modulation matched phonetic frequencies of human speech. We ran the sequence through vocal reconstruction software. The result was incomplete, distorted by static, but a single phrase cut through clearly: "Do not reply." No one wanted to believe it. The message had come from the same trajectory as 3I Atlas, yet carried data consistent with Earth's own transmission bandwidth. That meant one of two things. Either something out there was imitating us, or one of our own signals was being reflected back from somewhere it should never have reached. And then, the transmission abruptly stopped. For 12 hours, the universe went quiet. No pulses, no reflections, no signals. Just the dead static of cosmic silence. Some of us hoped it was over. A malfunction, a solar flare, anything human. But deep down, we knew silence can be louder than sound. Then the object began to spin, slowly at first, then faster, until its light became a continuous beam pointed directly at Earth. Every sensor showed the same result: energy levels rising exponentially, far beyond any known propulsion system. That's when the planetary radar in Arecibo registered something impossible. The signal wasn't just coming from 3I Atlas anymore. It was now being bounced back from our upper atmosphere, as if we were part of the transmission loop. We thought it was preparing to communicate again. But what came next wasn't a signal. It was a countdown. The numbers appeared as pulses of light: 10, then 9, then 8. We counted in disbelief, hoping it was coincidence, a pattern we imagined. But every major observatory confirmed it. The interval shortened with each pulse. The countdown was real. Command centers across the globe went on alert. NASA, ESA, Roscosmos, all running separate analyses, all reaching the same conclusion. The pulses were not destructive. They carried data packets. Encoded within each was more hydrogen line structure, layered information, like pages in a book being torn open one by one. When we decrypted the third pulse, the message changed again. This time, it was in English. The translation appeared automatically, generated by our own AI models, as if guided by something inside the signal itself. It read, "This is not an arrival." The room froze, because that could only mean one thing: it was already here. Satellite arrays began picking up faint echoes of the same hydrogen line frequency, not from deep space, but from low Earth orbit. The source moved unpredictably, too slow for a meteor, too fast for debris. Every reading triangulated to one impossible conclusion. The signal was coming from inside our atmosphere. Air Force stores confirmed visual anomalies, flashes of light like ionization trails, but controlled, deliberate. Within minutes, the pattern on 3I Atlas stopped entirely, as if its purpose had been fulfilled. Then, for the first time, the signal spoke again. Not through numbers or light, but through our own communication systems, hijacking satellites, broadcasts, even phone towers. Across the network, the same message appeared, fragmented but unmistakable. We observed. We responded. Now we begin. The signal was cut out, and somewhere over the Pacific, radar detected a second object, smaller but accelerating fast. At first, we thought it was debris, a fragment torn loose from 3I Atlas. But debris doesn't change velocity mid-flight. This object did. It entered the atmosphere silently. No heat signature, no sonic boom, just a ripple in magnetosphere readings, as if reality itself bent to let it through. Ground sensors tracked its descent to within 30 kilometers of the Pacific. Then, nothing. Vanished. No splash, no trace, only a faint electromagnetic hum resonating through every receiver tuned to the hydrogen line. Hours later, the signal returned, this time from Earth's surface. Coordinates began scrolling across the screen. They didn't point to the ocean or any city. They pointed to a remote facility, ours. Before the feed cut to black, one final line appeared, embedded in the static. "We are not coming. We were never gone."